Hey Rockhounds, I know it's been a while. It's been a long cold winter. I've been inside myself. I've been working on the next book. So this was volume 2 of the Rockhound series. Volume 3, I'm just in the stages of the final editing. And after that it goes into the template, and then it becomes a book that you can actually purchase on my website. And of course here it is right here. Similar price to the first one. I think it's about $30 something. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is, it's getting sunny out. It's beautiful weather now. It's beginning to get warm, and when it gets warm, what happens to rockhounds? Well, of course, we're all thinking about getting out ourselves and looking for minerals in the old mines and quarries and all the pegmatite veins and what have you. So within the book itself, this is the third volume of Rockhound. I'm going to be talking quite a bit about rare earth minerals. We're going to talk about the pegmatites. In particular, there's a group of pegmatites up around the Thunder Bay area that I'm going to lead you to in the book, and they're rich in tantalum, spodumene, which is a lithium-based crystal. The spodumene actually comes out as kunzonite in this beautiful purple color, or hiddenite. So I mean, let's see what we find there. But that's one heck of a trip, but that'll be in about 3 months from now, and you'll see some videos on that. Within the book, we're going to talk about the corundum at Robillard Mountain, and that's quite a historical situation. We're going to talk about amethyst. We're going to talk about diamonds in Ontario, which is now a big thing. We're going to visit a number of really quite exceptional places, one of them being the Quadville area, which again, at Quadville you're going to find zoonite, you're going to find what do you call it, coltan, and there's a really cool story on the coltan that we're going to discuss. Rare earths are a big thing, so this is kind of cool right here. Apatite, this actually came from the Gibson occurrence, but the reason I'm showing it to you is because it has various minerals in it that we're going to talk about. You're going to see interesting, like spectrums if we actually look at it in the spectrometer. So one of the really cool areas that most people don't know about that we're going to talk about in the book and we're going to visit is the old Hastings Road just off the side of Highway 62. And in that particular area there was a lot of exploration in the late 1800s for galena. And galena is something they used in amateur radio sets. It's a crystal that they would have what they call hotspots in, and this is just a real cool little galena crystal that my father gave me that he'd had when he was into this thing of making amateur radio. So we're going to look at the galena deposits on the side of the old Hastings Road. We're going to talk about the amethysts in the Thunder Bay. So when we're also going up and we're visiting the Nipissing area pegmatite deposits, looking for spodumene and columbite, we're also going to have a brief stop and check out the amethyst. And this, by the way, is a beautifully cut amethyst, worth a fair bit of money. One of the things out of the amethyst is when you get the red flash. Red flash is indicative of a very high quality stone. I'm getting a bit of purple out of this, but this is definitely a beautifully faceted and high quality stone. And I have a couple of them there. I collect amethyst. Tourmaline, one of my favorite stones of all. We're going to talk about tourmaline. I've got, this is a tourmaline crystal. I got some really neat, where is it? I've got some nice faceted tourmaline. We've got, so when we're talking about the tourmaline, there's so many different varieties, but the lithium tourmalines are probably the most beautiful. It's the elbite variety, and this is what they call, it's hard to see, but it's a indicolite tourmaline. That's the blue. In particular, this one's from Afghanistan. You also find, I've got a fair bit from Namibia, and that of course is what you'd call a Tourmaline Prism. There's this lovely green, minty green Tourmaline Prism. And again, you look at a tourmaline, the sides of the prism are bowed outwards. It's roughly triangular in shape, It's striated along its edges and it bows out along each prism face. This here is what you call a watermelon tourmaline. Newry, Maine being the kind of area that this is coming from. Why do you suppose they call that watermelon tourmaline, Maggie?
Because it has a nice pink insides.
Pink, it's like watermelon, right? You got your rind along the outside, the greenish, the pink, and so anyway, we'll talk about tourmaline. Most typically in Ontario you're going to find something like that, which is a shoal tourmaline, heavily influenced by the iron, or the magnesium tourmalines, the dravidite, which is more of a brown color. One of the really cool things about tourmaline is it can develop an electrical charge based on heat or pressure. So we're going to talk a little bit in the book about, this is an andradite garnet, so we're going to look for garnet while we're in the book. Okay, so this is a dark garnet that you're going to generally find in like a calcite vein, but now you also find other types of garnet. This is a faceted garnet of the most beautiful, deep, rich, reddish color. And that, of course, is a garnet that's well worth seeing. I'll take a close-up picture of it, right? So we're going to talk about the garnet. By the way, when we are actually talking about emerald, we're going to be going to the Ghost Lake occurrence up near Dryden, which is way up near Rainy River. Oh, you're standing on the agates. Check out. Okay, we got some agates. So across the top of Lake Superior, all different sorts of agates that you can find along the beach. Like, I mean, look at that. Just a beautiful example of the agates you'll find in Lake Superior area. What else here? Can I borrow the camera there, Megan? Thank you. So, I mean, thank you. As a rockhound, it's all about getting out. There's dollarstone crystals, Niagara Falls, absolutely. So, Niagara Falls being one of the more exciting areas, and one of the areas that probably receives a good amount of attention because many of the rockhounds are living down in southern Ontario, and Niagara Falls is pretty easy access. So we're going to visit Niagara Falls. In the book, we'll be looking for fluorite, and you've probably seen some of this stuff in my videos. Where is it? Okay, here. Oh, look at this. Okay, there's an example of the kind of fluorite that you're finding down in Niagara Falls. Some of it's much better colored than that. You can just vaguely, at a certain angle, see a bit of purple with it. Molybdenum, excuse my trying to say that, in a green pyroxenite. So generally when we're looking for the molybdenum, we're going to find it, that's that shiny sort of metal there that comes in hexagonal flakes. You're going to find it in the green pyroxenite. We're going to visit some molybdenum mines, more bits of molybdenum. The Desmond mine being a good example. By the way, while we're on the topic here, we're talking about corundum. That's from the Guts Farm area. Just small prisms of corundum. Again, you're looking at it from the top. It's a hexagonally shaped mineral, often in prisms that end up being spindle shaped. That's typical to the area. By the way, check that out. That came from the Rogers mine at a trip that I did some time back. Okay, it's not showing itself in the light that I'm showing it, but it's basically quite a beautiful green. Or maybe it came from, no, sorry, this one came from the Perry mine, and there's quite a cool story around that, which will be in the book as well. Guess what I'm doing now? Yeah, you guessed it, right? I just dropped one of my gemstones in somewhere underneath here, so now I'm down looking around trying to find the stupid thing. So you're probably thinking to yourself, this guy's a bit of a pig. Look at the state of his place where he sits and he writes, and I'm sorry, it's just what I'm like. My books are everywhere, there's papers everywhere, there's minerals. Speaking of which, any idea what this is here? Here's a cool little mineral. You tell me what you think that is, right? Look at that, okay? You tell me what you think that is. That's kind of a rare mineral to find. But, and here's another example of it, okay? This is a prism that's actually been split. So you're kind of seeing the prism in cross-section, only half of the prism. There's a spinel, by the way. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Spinel. Gem quality, I might add. Tremolite, bit of apatite there. Oh, I'm just totally, oh, look at that, eh? What's that? Right? Various, that was one of the finds. I found a pocket of this stuff, feldspar, shards of it, growing out of the rock that I'd managed to extract. So anyway, I guess, the nice weather's coming. I just keep seeing other minerals I feel like showing you, but oh well, I guess I got to stop sooner or later, right? The nice weather's coming. I'm saying I'm going to have some real good videos for you soon enough, but right now my focus is to get finished, get my book into the template, get it out to you by mid-April. Volume 3, Rockhound, A Geography of Collecting. And you will be able to purchase it on the site, as I say. So hang in there, Rockhounds. The good weather's almost here. I look forward to meeting with you guys at the the Bancroft Jamboree, which I go to every year and I talk. I've got an event coming up in Toronto shortly with the Walker Mineralogical Club, and I'll be talking at U of T, and that's April the 12th. So, if some of you are going, hey, that's great. We'll see you there. Bring a copy of the book, and I will personally sign it for you. So, take care, guys. Look forward to seeing some of you out in the field as well, because I often bump into people who watch the videos, and it's always really good to see you guys.